Hey, it's Justin Kanoya, DJ, business coach, and idea sharer. And in this video, I'm taking you through the entire process from start to finish, a road case modifying project for the Pioneer DDJ 1000. Earlier this year, I had a DJ colleague, Tamer, or DJ T Major, reach out to me because he had just purchased his brand new DDJ 1000 and the accompanying Odyssey road case, and he had seen some of the modifications that I have done to my road cases and the custom panels that I've built, and he wanted to do the same for himself. When we set up a time to meet, I thought, why not document all of this? That way I can show all of you my process anytime I'm approaching a road case modifying project. And when I start a modification, it's always from the standpoint about refining a process. And I spoke to Tamer about this, and this is what he had to say.
It's smarter to have that ability to be able to set up much quicker than what I've been doing in the past. And I've realized over time doing some of my gigs, whether they're weddings or whether they're private gigs, is the less time that it takes me to set up and hook up a larger controller like the DDJ 1000, the easier it is for me to kind of be a mobile DJ and be a functional mobile DJ who's efficient and faster at what he does.
The other tip I had for him, and of course for all of you, is to really think about what the end goal is and to make sure you maximize all of the connections that are on your mixer or controller. I call this future-proofing because you don't want to create a panel just for the master outputs, because who knows, maybe later you want to be able to easily access your RCA auxiliary inputs or your microphone inputs, or maybe your booth output, which I talked to Tamer about this.
You know, in terms of future proofing, so my controller has two microphone outputs, so I'd ideally like to have both outputs accessible. The thought process behind it is just making sure that the same channels and resources that this controller provides me remain accessible throughout its life and remain portable and flexible so that I can always adapt the needs of the gig to what it's requiring of me.
Now, of course, there is the two rack spaces underneath the controller available, and we're pretty much set on using those spaces for a power conditioner and a one-space rack panel with all its connectors. But, you know, there's still options to consider. I mean, maybe you'd want to put the microphone receiver in one of those spaces and the power conditioner, or maybe a 1U drawer for some storage and the microphone or the power conditioner. The connectors could always go on mounting plates that we could place at the rear of the case or the crowd-facing side of the case, and then you'd have the spaces available for something else. So here's our discussion on that.
And then the other debate is, do we want to sit here and drill holes in the actual case? I think with respect to this case, it seems like the right decision to do a front mount with the custom connections that my controller actually requires. For me personally, it's not going to be a deal breaker to have some wires jutting out. I'm personally okay with it. And because Odyssey has taken the time to kind of put thought into this and kind of leave that extra 2 inches or so, the jutting out is not going to be so significant where it bothers me as much. And so I like that idea. I think also aesthetically, it keeps the rear of the case clean and allows for proper cable management.
Well, once we established the goals and established exactly what he wanted, it was time to head over to the computer and digitally build our rack panel. And for this, we use Redco Audio and their online panel builder. The great thing about this panel builder is you can select all the connectors, including the brand, locate the connectors where you want them, and create labels and name them whatever you like. Now, I've got a link to their website in the comments below, and in fact, I've got a direct link to this panel that we built, which of course is for the DDJ 1000. So if you have that same controller and you're looking to build a custom panel, well, we've already done the work for you. So go ahead and click that link and you can go straight to their website for a pre-built panel for all the connections that you would want for your DDJ 1000. Now, once you finish the online portion, which is really the connectors that are going to be on the panel, you're going to be working with a sales associate to discuss your exact cabling needs. And this is where you're going to get into the length of the cable that you want, as well as the connector that you're going to want on the other end, or the B side. So the A side would be all the connectors, you know, whether it's XLR or 1/4 inch or powercon, that you're going to want on the panel itself. And then you've got the cable, and then you've got the B side, which of course would be the other XLR and So if it was male on the A side, you need female XLRs on the B side. And once your order is completed, it's just a matter of time that you need to wait to have that custom order fully built, shipped out to you, and eventually arrive. And I know it's going to feel like an eternity. It's amazing, clean work. What did you think when you first saw it?
I was honestly super impressed. The quality in this panel is really nice and really clean. The wiring and the soldering job is just top notch. You can just really tell. I also really love how flush and matte black it is, so I feel like it's going to be really consistent with the image that I'm trying to portray here. Obviously you see I have an all black case. But overall, just super impressed, and honestly, it got me really excited to get it built into the case. So
this is the Odyssey case that's got the rack space underneath, which is a 2-space. So this is going to take up 1 space. We have a Furman power conditioner that's going to go in the other one. This is really going to just probably take a few minutes to just put it all together. So let's get this lid off and start putting it together.
Let's get it going.
You were looking very lovingly at the front of this. I think it just hit you. You're like, wait, I gotta take a look.
I can't deny the fact. I honestly can't deny the fact that this looks amazing. I mean, not only is it very flush with the front of the case and with my controller, but just the consistency and the harmony of it all was just far too pleasing. I guess it's a DJ thing, but I love it. I'm just gonna admire it for a couple more minutes. Don't mind me. This thing has some weight now.
Now, one thing that I do to all my cases, even if I'm not adding any connectors or doing any custom panels, I like to cover that opening at the back of the case just for a nice clean look. And what I do is I get this chalkboard, a panel of like chalkboard, whatever you call it. I'm not even sure what it's called, but this is something where you could put up in your house and you could like draw things on it with chalk, and it's the perfect thing to add as like a back panel or a back cover. One, it's already black, so you really just need to cut it down to the size that you need, and it's got a nice little smooth finish and it's perfect. I just cut it down to size, and in this case that's what we did for Tamer's case. Just cut it down to size, drilled a couple holes for cable access, and we're good to go. Well, there you have it. That whole process took about 3 weeks from start to finish, and of course that includes about a half a day for the planning, another half a day for the install, but of course the bulk of the time was the couple of weeks waiting and of course just coordinating our schedules so we could meet up. Now, how much did this all cost? Well, with any type of custom work, it's really going to depend on your needs. But keep in mind, you're essentially ordering multiple custom length cables. So if you just kind of look right here, like here is a cable that I built of two XLRs or sort of snaked together. So if you were to order something like this, you're purchasing 4 different connectors as well as the length of the cable itself. My estimate would be about $15 to $25 per cable. So you can just call it 20 bucks and multiply that by the number of cables or connectors that you'd be doing, and that would come up with a little bit of a ballpark figure. So you'll definitely spend a little bit of time and a little bit of money, but the reward is a refined look and an efficient setup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like, share it with your friends, share it with someone that might be looking at doing a road case modification project. Hopefully they'll find this helpful, and hopefully you'll find it helpful as well. I want to thank you for watching. I'm DJ Kanoya, and I'll see you next time online.